talk to us about what a wealth tax can do for the Philippine economy, we have Mr. Mustafa Talpur over Zoom. He serves as Head of Policy, Advocacy and Campaigns for Oxfam International Asia. Good evening, sir. Welcome to The Big Story.
Thank you very much for having me.
Sir, let's do the basics. How does a wealth tax work?
Yeah, thank you very much. So we have seen a global trend in last couple of decades that the rich people are really adding up to their fortunes, and that's in the cost of the poor people. Just last year, let me tell you that 1% rich people in Asia and Pacific own more wealth than 90%. And in last 2 years, in 2020 and 21, these were the pandemic hit years, where world economy added $42 trillion. And over 2/3 of that went to the billionaires' wealth, only 1%, and 99% people all around the world just got 37% of that wealth. So this high concentration of wealth is really creating a fundamental problem in the national economic systems, in the politics, in democracy, as rich people can easily buy a lot of things. So in our recent report, Oxfam, that we just launched this morning, we are proposing a couple of proposals on the tax. So a 1% one-time tax on a billionaires can earn you over $1.7 trillion worldwide. That's enough to really lift 200 billion people that are living under poverty. And there are many ways to tax the rich, the wealth people, the people that have a more wealth. So, for example, in the Philippines, we have calculated that if the people who have wealth more than $5 million, if they are taxed 1%, and if the Filipinos who having a wealth over 50 million USD, if taxed by 2%, and Filipino billionaires, if taxed over 3%, Philippine government can get $3.8 billion. That's enough money. Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Talpur, I mean, pardon this very basic question, but as I'm sure you won't even be surprised that some of the richest people here pay some of the lowest income taxes. If we cannot even track their income tax, they will also say that some of their assets are not liquid, some of their shareholdings are, moving targets. How do we, in countries that have wealth taxes, what is the basis even for saying that this is the wealth of this individual at this point in time? What are the factors that go into calculating who's a billionaire, who's not, who's super rich or not, or for that matter, what is the baseline from which we calculate your tax?
Yeah, I think that's not a problem with only Philippines. That's a worldwide problem. So the world's richest person, Jeff Bezos, paid only 3% effective tax rate, while a street vendor in Uganda, she earns $80 a month. She pays a 40% tax. So you are right. The rich people have created many instruments to avoid paying the taxes. But if the government agencies and the effective tax systems are in place, it's not that difficult to, that requires a political will. But I think the economic problem that COVID has created, the countries need more money to fund their poor people, their health system, the social protection. That's actually compelling the governments to invent the ways where you can really tap on those domestic resources that people are hiding and not paying the taxes. So there are several instruments that people have used. For example, there is an instrument to tax the inheritance tax, put an inheritance tax. So when a billionaire transfers their wealth as an inheritance, you can have a tax there. There could be a tax on dividends. There could be a tax on financial transactions. These are the ways where countries have implemented those, but because gradually, as I said, the concentration of wealth has bought those agencies and also the economic policy. So they have sold a narrative that the trickle-down economics works. So the cutting down, the taxes will work for everybody, but we have seen in last 30, 40 years that that economic system is not working.
Okay.
So adding a billionaire in an economy, it's a failure of economic policy of any country. It's a sick economic model. It's not prosperity for everyone.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Talpur. Mr. Mustafa Talpur, head of Oxfam Asia's Regional Advocacy and Campaigns. After another break,